Whatever happened to bipartisan support? You would think major issues like moderating AI, things that, really do affect all of us and our stability as a nation, the future of our children, our economy, our free rights, we would all be bipartisanly together to try to do what's best for all of us. But we can't even do that anymore, okay? I feel like somebody could find the cure for cancer, and one person would still try to say it's like some sort of left winged or right winged piece of propaganda. Don't take the cure to cancer, it's alt right or it's alt left. Now, look, the term fascist, it's more so used in a clickbaity context in this sense, okay? Because I feel like the term fascist is kind of like, it's kind of like the term gaslight. Nobody really knows what it means. They're never really using it in an appropriate context. It's just something you say when you're losing an argument. You know, in the same way, anytime you bring up a valid point in conversation, you're gaslighting somebody. It's also the same thing with any time somebody implements a policy or does something you don't like, or a politician has a platform you don't agree with. You just point your fingers and say they're a fascist. It's just the new thing to call people now. It's just one of those new buzzwords people use. Look, any reasonable person understands that you're never going to completely abolish AI. That's not realistic. And nobody's going on the base of getting rid of all AI. But I think, well, some may be, but I think any reasonable person is just trying to regulate it. It's just trying to implement some sort of job protection to protect the stability of a working class America. That's what most sensible people are trying to do. Okay? And I know some people say things like, well, when they invented cars, they replaced the horse and buggy industry and that lost jobs. Yeah, but it also created more jobs over time than it lost. It didn't just create the jobs manufacturing the cars, it created the jobs manufacturing the car parts. Things like windows, doors, the steels to make the parts, pistons, engines, tires, and then the dealerships to sell the cars, the people who sell the cars, the people that are the janitors of the car dealerships, the insurance agencies. Over time, it created a vast more amount of jobs than it lost. But the danger with AI is it seems that it's going to continue to destroy jobs opposed to creating new jobs. Now, the thing is that from what I've read, experts seem to be split. Okay? Some are saying it's going to create more jobs in the long run. Some are saying it's going to lose more jobs in the long run. It just depends on the expert that you ask. And in my opinion, even jobs it may end up creating will potentially be lost over time anyways to further automation. It's kind of like a black hole. It may create more, but it will eventually destroy it as it goes along further, okay? And the thing is that even if it creates new jobs and new positions, how many of those jobs are going to be obtainable to a majority of the public? Things like entry-level positions, things like minimal education needed. How many of those jobs they create are going to have a job security promise of at least like 25 to 30 years so that people could retire off of them? These are all massive concerns, and it seems like AI could potentially destroy the jobs it creates, create a scarcity of jobs with actual security, and limit the job market and cause massive stagnation. And this idea that these rich and powerful people wouldn't do anything to destroy or tank our economy is devoid of all history. The 2008 house market crash, the Great Depression, what happened with the car manufacturing scene, our current manufacturing scene, how they shipped everything overseas and destroyed American manufacturing. I mean, there's just numerous examples of rich and powerful people in our government dropping the bomb, making terrible calls and decisions for the sake of making a quick buck and destroying the economy in the long run. And I can't emphasize it enough that, hey, you look at the record of rich and powerful people before, and they have tanked economies, they have made terrible decisions, and there is the risk that the jobs it creates will only be around for a short period of time because they'll be over automated. I heard people say arguments like, well, AI isn't designed to take your jobs. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's designed to minimize the amount of people needed on staff to do tasks, to manufacture, to design, and all that stuff. Over automation could potentially tank our job market. That's just common sense. And even if it creates a bunch of jobs for like people that are highly educated in very complex and advanced subjects like computer science and electrical engineering and stuff like that, that's not really professions for a majority of working class Americans. That becomes professions for the best of the best. And pretty soon, only the best of the best will get secure jobs. The best of the best will be able to get good paying jobs. And that's the problem. And if you also destroy the working class, and a lot of Americans aren't making good money, and aren't able to buy and sell things, our economy tanks. You can't sell things to a general public, which is what the American economy fuels itself on, which is really the global economy, let's be honest. The American economy is important to everybody, and the American economy tanks if people don't have enough money to go and buy the next iPhone, or to go and buy fudgicles or dreamsicles or whatever. We don't need to get rid of AI, but I think we need to regulate it. Otherwise, in my opinion, I feel we could crash the entire job market. I'm not saying we can't have any AI. I'm not saying we shouldn't use any AI. I'm just saying we need to regulate it because I feel it could be incredibly destructive.